Welcome back to my channel, y'all, and this is gonna be my MEPS experience 2018. And if you don't know what MEPS means, it stands for Military Entrance Processing Station. I will try to put that on the screen. And so I went to the Military Entrance Processing Station earlier this year in early May, and I'm just gonna talk a little bit about my experience. I was hesitant to make this video because there's so many videos on YouTube about MEPS, and I just feel like, you know, they're all similar, but everybody's experience is different. So I'll just tell you guys briefly what my experience was like, what happened, and so on and so forth, and what you should be looking out for when you plan to go, or whenever you have to go and take your physical. All right, so starting at the beginning. So my recruiter told me to meet at his office around 8:30 in the morning, 8 o'clock in the morning, sometime around there, 8:30, 8 o'clock, something like that. And I had to sign some more paperwork and, you know, finish up some things. So when we met, everything went well. There is a sheet that they give you, and they tell you that you have to fill it out by yourself. You don't get any help from your recruiter. And there was one question on there that I thought was weirdly phrased. I'm not going to go into detail because y'all will see. The branch that I'm joining is the Army, and so it might be just specifically for the Army. I don't know. But anyway, moving on. I guess I answered one question not incorrectly, but my recruiter says that I didn't tell him that information before. So because I didn't inform him of that information, I had to go back and redo a whole nother sheet and sign everything all over again. And if you've ever gone through the enlistment process, you know that, you know, you have to sign a lot of papers. So I had to do all that over again. Long story short, I ended up making the shuttle that I had to get on to go down to MEPS late. So I get on the shuttle, and there's another guy already on there, and we're heading down to MEPS. If you don't know, I'm in Florida, so our MEPS, the MEPS that's closest to me is in Miami. So we had to go that way, and we were late picking up everybody else. Mind you, this guy is driving like, this man was driving so crazy. Like, he was driving, I couldn't go to sleep. I had to stay up because I was just like, I got to make sure I get there. You know what I'm saying? It was one of those kind of rides. So he's driving, like, we got down there in record time. We go straight to the station, and he gives us instructions, and he tells us, you know, what we're gonna have to do when we get in there, what we can and cannot take in, blah blah blah, right? So we go in there, we put all our stuff in these, we go through security first, we put all our stuff in these like little cubby things, and after we put them in the cubbies, like our phones and everything is in there, then we go and we sit down. Or did we have to? No, yeah, we go, either we went and sat down, or we went to the office. We went to the counter, and they give you a paper that you're supposed to bring to your liaison, or was it the other way around? One of those things happens. Either you go to the counter and get a paper and you have to bring it to your liaison's office, or you go to your liaison's office and you have to bring it to the counter. I'm not sure which way it went. Either way, that's the paper for you to take the ASVAB. Now, I know that each branch is different. So for specifically the Army, this is what I had to do. I had to go take the ASVAB down there. Now let me tell y'all that I took the ASVAB earlier in April, and I guess I did, you know, I did pretty okay for myself, I guess. I passed and everything like that. And basically what my recruiter told me was that I could lock in my score, so without taking the actual ASVAB over again, I would have to answer the questions the way I answered them in the office the first time, and that would lock in my score, and I wouldn't have to take it over again. There's also another test that you have to take. I forget what this test is called, but it's like a personality test, and I'm gonna get into that in a minute. But because I don't think any video I've ever watched, and I've watched a lot of videos about going to MEPS, have ever mentioned this test that you have to take. So anyways, first I take the ASVAB test, And when we got there, you know, we go to the liaison's office, get the paper. We're sitting there waiting. We're sitting there waiting for hours, y'all. Hours. And nothing's happening. Like, we just sitting there. You're not supposed to go to sleep, so I'm sitting here like looking at the TV. They have like the news on. I think it's like CNN or something like that, talking about politics, what's going on, blah blah blah. And I'm trying to stay awake, so I'm talking to the other people that came on the shuttle with me, and you know, listening to their stories, like, you know, asking what job they got, blah blah blah, right? So I finally get called up to the desk. And I just want to say that the people that work at these stations, I don't know, you know, if they're all military or if they're all civilian or whatever the case is, but just listen to what they say and you will be fine. Like, if you don't listen, that's where the problem comes in, because they're repeating themselves, and they do this all day, every day. So they literally like don't feel like saying the same thing over and over and over again. Just, you know, listen the first time, get it, do what you're supposed to do, and go on. And if you don't hear them, like, ask somebody like, hey, what they say, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, try to keep up. But I pretty much heard everything that was being said or whatever. So I finally get up to take my ASVAB test. I go in the back. It's a computer test. The room is full of people. I sit down and take my test. I start looking at the questions. I remember the questions, but I don't remember the answers. I don't remember the answers that I put on the test. So I'm like, oh my goodness, like, I hope I don't have to take this whole test over again, because it doesn't tell you if you do or if you don't. So I start answering questions like, you know, just trying to remember what I put, but I really don't. And I believe it was like a math section first. I don't remember, but yeah. So I start answering stuff, and I'm like, please, Lord, let this be what I answered in the recruiter's office. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't feel like taking this whole test over again. So, like, I think after 6 or 7 questions, the test was like, oh, you've locked in your score. I was like, yes, don't have to take that over again. So now I'm about to tell y'all about the personality test that you have to take. Y'all, the personality test that you have to take, specifically for the Army, I don't know if other branches have to take it, it's crazy. It's crazy. Like, the questions that they ask you, you're like, there's no right answer. And I guess I'm trying to think of an example to give you, like at work. Like, they'll ask you, like, at work, do you like talking to people? Would you tell on a coworker for stealing? Would you donate to charity? Like, it was just weird questions. Like, I'm telling you, like, and I've never heard anybody talk about that test, the personality test that they make you take. And so when I went back to the liaison's office, they were telling the other guy that rode on the shuttle with me, like, oh, just put anything for the answers, because they don't actually count that personality test. They don't actually count that personality test. So that made me feel better. But I mean, like, it's like 100 questions, but they go really quick, and it's multiple, you know, answer or whatever, but it's only 3 answers that you can choose from. And like I said, if you ever have taken the test, you understand, like, there's no right answer. Like, they all sound crazy. So anyways, we go take the test. Everything's good. You know, I locked in my score, took the personality test. Everything's good. Lock that in. Next thing I know, we sitting there waiting. I don't know what we were waiting for, but we was waiting for a minute. But I don't remember what we were waiting for. And so then finally I see the shuttle driver who took us down there, and, you know, he asked us, were we ready to go? And then also the people at the counter told us, you know, that it was time to go too. Like I said, we got down there late, so we took our tests late. Like, we were like the last people to take our ASVAB test, the last people to take the personality test. And they pretty much like wrapped everything up after we got done. So we go to the hotel, we get on the shuttle, we go to the hotel. Shuttle's packed with people that didn't ride down there with us, but everybody has to ride to the hotel, I guess, on the same like shuttle buses or whatever. So we all get to the hotel. They tell us that we have a briefing at 8 o'clock sharp. I'm like, okay, cool. We have to, as soon as we get there, we go to this room and they give us the room keys. Well, first of all, this lady I ain't gonna say she chewed us out, but she just talked and talked and talked and talked and talked. And I mean, I'm listening to everything that she's saying because I don't want to miss nothing and do anything wrong. And she's like, we have a briefing at 8 o'clock. She asked the room, like, what time do we have the briefing? Like 5 times to make sure everybody got it. Of course, people still gonna show up late. That's besides the point. So she gives us our room keys, tells us, you know, who our roommates are. No, she didn't tell us who our roommates are. She just gave us the room key, another little pamphlet, and a voucher, I think, for breakfast and dinner, I think. And so, or it might have just been for dinner. So she told us, you know, when we can eat dinner, blah, blah, blah. So I go back up to the room, call my family, let them know, you know, everything went well for the first day, and then tell them, you know, what's gonna happen the second day, what she told us at the meeting. So I tell my sister what's going on, and the next thing that I did was talk to my roommate, introduce myself, tell her, you know, what my name is, blah, blah, blah. And I asked her, you know, what branch is she joining? She asked me what branch I was joining, you know, small talk, whatever. She was cool. She was only 18. I'm not 18, just to let y'all know. And we moved, like, I asked her what time she was going to dinner. And she was like, I think she said like 6:37. No, she said she had to go meet her mom because she was like from the area. She was from Miami. So she was like, she has to go meet her mom. Then she was going to come back and she would let me know. And then we were going to go to dinner together. I was like, okay, cool. So she went and met her mom. It literally took her like 10 minutes to meet her mom. And then she came. She was like, oh, are you ready to go? I was like, yeah, I'm ready. So we head down to dinner, and it's a nice hotel that they put you in too. I just wanted to let y'all know that as well. This particular hotel, they don't have like, I had never seen like a, I guess a cafe or like a sitting area like the one they had, like it was big. So when you go inside, you go sit down and then you give them your ticket and they give you a specific menu for people that are there for MEPS. So they have like their own little menu or whatever. You pick something off the menu, the waiter brings it to you along with, you know, whatever you want to drink. I had water because, you know, you have to take the drug test the next day. I don't know, I just wasn't trying to have like, you know, a whole bunch of sugar in my system or whatever. So I got water. I usually drink water at restaurants anyways. And then I had the chicken finger plate. So it was straight. It was good food. I mean, you don't have to pay for it, so that's what's up. So you get your food, and our waiter, me and my roommate sat with this other guy. He was shipping out the next day. He was going to the Navy. And like we were just having small talk with him, and the waiter was kind of taking a long time, and we were like looking at our watches like it's almost, you know what I'm saying, like it was time to go to the briefing. It was going to be time to go to the briefing soon. So I think we got our food like 7:15. I don't know why we were trying to be so early. I don't know, I was just nervous for no reason. So we ate our food. I mean, we were done with our food by like in like 15 minutes. And we just, you know, sat and talked about everything going on, and then like everybody's background and stuff. Then the next thing was we just went right over to the meeting room, which was right next door. It's like a little arcade room. You could play games, you could watch TV, and it's for, you know, people that are going through the military interest processing station again. So in there, she had the brief, like you have the briefing. They tell you everything that you can and cannot do. Like, don't get in the pool. Your recruiter tells you that before too. Oh, I forgot to tell y'all, before I actually even left, the recruiter and somebody else in the office, they have a briefing with you. They have a briefing with you to tell you, you know, everything that you can and cannot do. Like, you know, don't change anything on your information. The information that you give the recruiter is the information that you need to give them at MEPS. Like, don't come up with anything at MEPS. Like, keep everything the same. You know what I'm saying? Like, everything. Like, if you didn't dot your I on your first name, then don't dot your I on your first name down there. Like, simple as that. Like, don't do anything that you didn't do at the recruiter's office at MEPS. So anyways, back to what I was saying about the briefing that we had. She was telling us everything that we couldn't and couldn't do. She was like, y'all need to be in y'all rooms by 9 o'clock, I think, or 9:30, something like that. It was super early. And at the end of the day, she was giving us this speech, just, you know, basically telling us, like, y'all are lucky to be here, to have gotten this far, and you need to do everything in your power to prove that you are capable of becoming part of the 1%. So moving on, you know, everybody's like, okay. So she tells us that the wake up is at 4:15. You're supposed to be down there at 4:30. I believe that's what it was. So me and my roommate, as soon as that was over, we went back up to our room and we got in the bed. It was like 8:30. It was like 8:30. My recruiter called me, you know, asked me how everything went. I talked to him for a few minutes. He was like, yeah, I actually talked to him at dinner, and he was like, yeah, call me, you know, if you have any questions, problems, issues, whatever. And he gave me his card because we can't have our cell phones. So yeah, like, everything was good. I went to sleep a good time. We set our alarms. They even told us that they were going to call at 4:15.